Okay. I guess we're going to call this road vlogs. So did this before. On my last trip. And hopefully this stays in there. Alright. So, we spent our first night in Truth or Consequences. We stayed in a yurt, which was super nice. I don't think I ate enough yesterday, and I had like 4 or 7% IPAs, which normally I don't think would fuck me up that bad, but it kind of did that time. And then I played cornhole with some railroad workers, like welders. They were telling me that I might be getting sick, but I think it's just allergies because I like feel sick symptoms, but then never quite get sick. But anyway, yeah, that's a cool old bridge. Yeah, so just played cornhole with the railroad guys and held my own, but I didn't do great. We did win. And then they were telling me about, these rail systems, they go sort of, wow, look at that. Jesus. Isn't that pretty? These like ranch compounds kind of in the middle of nowhere. Damn, son. What was I saying? But yeah, I guess they, like, basically they're part of the courier service now. They mostly do Amazon and Walmart and what have you. And then I guess they used to do livestock, but they don't do livestock anymore. They put those on trucks. They're like, oh yeah, there's a whole livestock economy that just is what it is, I guess. I think it's funny that cows used to be on trains anyway. Yeah, I'm feeling a little lonely. Every once in a while I'll start yelling at Alex in my head and then like sort of like snap out of it like, oh my god, I'm arguing with nobody. But oh boy, if I ever do get to fucking tell her what's up, boy, have I practiced enough. But no, I think she's just a bully. Insecure. And taking it out on me. So I think you gotta take those things and sort of like live your life in a state of forgiveness, because people are just people and they've had hard lives and weird lives and shit happens. I can smell my feet, and it is wild. Anyway, I also just broke the bank at Walmart. Buying, I don't know if it's enough food. Oh, I'm sleepy. But I got a watch finally. So they had like a big display of watches. So hopefully this watch lasts me another 3 years till I'm done with the PhD. But it's exciting. I guess it's an exciting time. I'm sort of transitioning to more research and really focusing on environmental. And I'm scraping all this data. Oh, I think that cut out because I got internet again. Anyway, actually, I wonder if I can. Yeah, that's off. Anyway, it's beautiful. It's green. Nothing like green. Yeah, it's funny. I think I was talking about forgiving people. But yeah, like, so you get all this trauma and then like you kind of carry it with you, and it's really heavy. It's not like super pleasant all the time. See, there's a campground. Maybe I'll check that one out too. But I think I'm going to a good spot. Yeah, like the burden of being angry at people is really heavy. And it just sort of like it's always in the back of your mind. So really, I think I have to work super hard on just forgiving Alex. And it's made a little more difficult by just like the hostile environment that is sort of created by someone like real life canceling you, and then like just sticking with it. It's just crazy. But at the same time, like as I'm like, even as I'm saying that, I'm getting like super upset. So it's like, how do we let that go? And you know, it's all right. We're in the Gila. This is a winding road. Very cool. All right, so we're getting up, gaining altitude. I think oh my God, there's a big old cow chilling. Is that a real cow? Hi, cow. Very blessed to be in this Bronco, although I'm a little worried about the gas situation. We have like half a tank. It says 154 miles though, and it's 45 miles. It's probably like 60, 70 miles. I'm going to be cutting it close, but not that close. I know these new cars have like 30 more miles after you're out of gas. And then there'll probably be somewhere to get gas up here, I hope. Ah. Anyway, let's see what else. I feel like Sam Sulik, the bodybuilder, right now. This long drives and just talking. Yeah, I don't know how much memory my phone has. I think it's 128 gigabytes, so that's a lot. Maybe I can turn down the quality and get more video. But yeah, it's another one for the books. School is super stressful. Sometimes I get like, I just can't get started on shit. It's rather unfortunate. But happy with this watch. Just got Indigo. Well, I was hoping that I would talk and like maybe something profound would come, but I think this is kind of the lesson of it all, is that, you know, for all this thinking and really just hyper fixating on yourself, and it's pretty nasty business. Like whoa, this is a curvy road, man. Anyway, the other thing, or the other impetus for this is like I am gonna try to quit smoking, and I doubt there's anywhere to get smokes up here. So I've got 1.5 cigarettes left. So that'll be its own adventure. But man, I just smoke so much and I feel like garbage. It would be so cool to just like feel good. Man, I think I'm gonna see some cool nature. This is what do they call it? Serpentine Road. migraine is basically non-existent. I've never been on a windier road. Yeah, 25 miles an hour is right. This is insane. What else happened? Dan is getting very good at climbing. He's climbed this really, really hard climb, and then I guess climbed his first V8-9, which is pretty wild stuff. That's like getting up into the realm of like there are fewer and fewer climbs that are that hard in a given gym. Like most of them are like 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, like 8, 9, 10. Like, whew, that's getting into this pretty heavy shit. Anyway, he's wildly talented. It's cool to see him do that. He's got a great body for it too. Like his arms are so long and he's really powerful. So it's all good stuff. Maybe there'll be a fun hippie chick at the campsite. Although I doubt it. I'm almost kind of giving up on the women of Albuquerque. What is that? Hiking trail. Something of this sort. Yeah. I think I'm gonna try to manage it to where I get it set up and I can smoke my last cigarette after I get comfortable. Just keep in mind that like all the cigarettes are really doing is making you want another cigarette. And really it's just like it's a gift to myself. The gift of health is incredible. And you're always able to give that to yourself if you want to. But it's kind of work. And I think the reason some people are so healthy is because they want to be healthy. They need to be healthy because it allows them to do more fun shit. Really, I think that's kind of it. Like, nobody tortures himself to be healthy, to be miserable. Like, that doesn't work. That's like a fat person dieting. It's like, you're miserable on your diet, and you're like, maybe, like, if you're really fat, you're like too fat to enjoy your body. But then you get fit, and you're like, oh, now I can enjoy my body. And I'm so lucky because I have a good body, you know. But I take it for granted, and you know, like this is it's optional to take it for granted. The healthier and stronger I get, the more I can enjoy my body and things like climbing, whatever. Really, I mean, I think it'd be cool to. I mean, it'd just be cool to be like active and not be out of breath all the time. Man, I'm a little worried about gas. So I have 150 miles today. I mean, but come on. 150 miles. Because I thought it might have said like 270. I thought I said 307 miles. Yeah, so it's definitely fall. There's also some fire damage up here. Damage, of course. But it's not all green. It's a little yellow. It's fall. You know what I've always wanted to do is go under one of those was like car tunnels through a mountain. I think that'd be so cool. Like, how does that even work? Can you tell? I mean, I might even get like a little car sick, honestly, at these windy roads. It's weird, like I'm becoming my own friend on a video screen. It's nice to just look over and see myself. Vanity. Pick a bug, man. Nothing. I'll do that disgusting thing where I blow it on my shirt later. Man, I thought I would kind of be whipping through these mountains, but I'm not. Going under the speed line. I think it's a relatively straight part. Well, I don't know if there's going to be a whole lot of other people. See, that was the pressure. Okay. That was interesting. So if the can popped, that means the pressure, well, depending on which way it popped, but I believe it popped out. So as we're gaining altitude, barometric pressure goes down, atmospheric pressure goes down, so the pressure inside the bottle is now pushing the same amount of air in there. There hasn't been a whole lot of temperature change, at least in the Bronco, in the Bronkowski. Look at that. Wow. Oh, such an adventure. I'm tired, man. That's interesting. So this looks like an older fire. Happened a while ago. There's a lot of new growth. So that was the cycle of, I was talking to Nikolai, and he said that we got so good at fighting fires that there are these huge, lush forests everywhere, and then completely fucked up the cycle of burning and regrowth. So you get these insane fires, and now it was sort of like at an equilibrium, and then human intervention gave it a nudge, and now it's in this like new bad equilibrium that requires human intervention to even maintain that equilibrium. Or like part of me is like, well, what if I mean, like, barring people dying, what if you just, growth happens fairly quickly. Like, I think within 100 years, the equilibrium would be reachable for sure. Maybe. I don't really know how far it is. But that's why a pine tree looks like a pine tree. It's sort of fire retardant on the bottom. Retard. Just put me to sleep. Oh, I got that big booger just hanging out. Fuck. That's enough of this shit for now. Right? Okay, we're vlogging. Ugh. Maybe I'll just put this one up on YouTube. Maybe like make a video. I can't really roll my sleeves up on my arms anymore because my forearms are all big from climbing. Okay, let's see what happened. So we found a nice camping spot, a little bit secluded and a little bit maybe too secluded, because it's hard to, it's scary. Like, man, the sounds you hear at night, just whatever it is, it's frightening. It's always a little bit scary, and then woke up a couple times, but I really slept pretty good, probably from about 10:30 to 6, and not including the 3-hour nap I took yesterday, which was kind of blissful. Anyway, woke up, saw the sunrise. Took a time lapse of it, but it's not the best one. I'll try to get a goddamn. Okay. There we go. It's funny, like the worse my hair gets, the more it looks like a toupee when it goes up, just because of the bald. Or when it's down, I guess it looks like a toupee. Anyway, yeah, caught the sunset and then went into town. Kind of went a long way into town. Gas stations immediately around, so I ended up going into Silver City, and then I don't know if it was Silver City or just like around Silver City, and then saw the Chama Mine, which is incredible. It's just mountains, like people move this shit, and it's mountains. Move it into giant piles. So, I don't even know what the mine is. I'm guessing silver. Okay, this guy's riding my ass. Anyway, yeah, I got gas. Went back and met Carl the cat and this nice woman. I forget her name. Very greasy, but it's in my belly. Feels okay for now. 26 miles to the Gila cliff dwellings. So we'll see how that goes. My campsite is, I don't know, I got this crazy feeling of, what do they call it? Deja vu. It's like I felt like just like I've been here before, but I've never been down was giving me that feeling was there was this cross on this tree, just like a wooden cross that somebody had made and drilled into the tree. And I was like, wow, that's some crazy shit, man. So, you know, I feel like I've seen that cross on a tree at a campsite before. Maybe that means something. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, kind of like unsettling. Or maybe it should be the opposite of unsettling. I'm really not sure what the intentions are there. And then I saw like 10 guinea hens who were the fattest, funniest little birds. And it was like, how the fuck did they survive? I mean, I'm sure there's like mountain lions up here. I would assume so. But I mean, if those guinea hens are around, they're not going to eat me. They'll probably eat those guinea hens. Oh, this guy's right on my ass. Yeah. Anyway, they were kind of funny. Made a nice little fire. Goes out semi-regularly. It's hot in New York. I also broke down and got cigarettes, but I made it 18 hours, which isn't great. But it's not bad. It's just, it is what it is. Kind of in love with cigarettes. And it's just weird, like in moments of boredom or stress or whatever, I'll just smoke a cigarette. It's like, okay. And does it really feel good? But the moments of stress are just like, mostly because I don't have a cigarette. So, yeah, that is what it is. I'm thinking about maybe some sort of a plan where I can put the cigarettes away from my campsite and then at least have like a smoke-free campsite, right? And then not having a cigarette is sort of this like practiced skill where you say, okay, I'm going to do this instead. It's funny because like you don't feel physically bad, really. I mean, it's the sensation of feeling bad is so mild when you get this itch. Like I gotta have it now, but it's not necessarily a physical situation. There's a big crow, man. These big crows are loving this roadkill. I got another fucking lump in my ass too, which sucks. So, we'll see what happens there. Oh, is that the lake? Is that the lake? Oh my god, that's beautiful. Wow. Point of interest. Wow, that's a pretty lake. Okay. Well, we're definitely checking that shit out. Ooh, I want to camp on that lake. Yeah, we're picking up. And we're camping on the lake. Fuck yeah, we're camping on the lake. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Wow, that is so pretty. Oh my goodness, that's pretty. Huh. Well, anyway. Okay, yeah. I guess that goes fished, but it seems like it would be super fun to fish. Okay, yeah, we're going to the lake. Fuck no lake. I mean, why go camping if you're not near water? I just think that's silly. Check the directions. Okay, use this bend. Free Wi-Fi. You don't say. Homemade ice cream. Oh, this is where it's at, boy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, there's a little store. Stop. For a chance at ice cold beer. Oh my god, do I go get beer and fish? We might go get beer and fish. But okay, let's see the cliff dwellings first and then we'll make those decisions. By the water when you have a chance to be by water. That's the life. It's life. Life happens by water. In water. It is kind of weird that no sentient life evolved in the water. Because the species variation in the water is immense. But then, I don't know, maybe it's a matter of, not enough scarcity in water. Honestly, maybe, in 1,000 years, 2,000 years, 10,000 years, given enough scarcity, octopuses would get pretty damn smart. I guess it's either. It could be octopuses or octopi. It might not even be just octopuses. Goose, geese, moose, meese. Yeah. I think we're going to try to go fishing. Goose, geese, moose, meese. The bugs are bad by the water. It sort of is what it is. I got my bug spray. That's all fine. Oh, goose, geese, moose, meese. But this is a bit of a challenge now because I have to up and pack my shit. Briefly pack up a tent. Still take the colors. It's yellow and green. So weeping willows. Don't wait for me. Okay. Yeah. Cedio Creek. God, what mile marker are we on? So my turn off is mile marker 20. Goose, geese, moose, meese. Ox. Box, boxes. Ox. Ox, oxen. Box, boxen. Ooh, it's toasty, man. That cool air. This car has been amazing people like make a lot of money and then just live in the middle of nowhere. These houses are probably unoccupied, 90% of the year. It's like those Martha's Vineyard houses that rich people have. Just need somebody in there. Ugh. It's interesting. So, okay, so we're losing elevation. The trees are going from, what are they? Spruces? I don't know what they are. I remember when I was with Jordan, the aspen trees with the highs. I was listening to this song and it's got this lyric that I really like. It's even the darkness has arms. It's like, yeah, that's true. Even the darkness has arms. Even the darkness has arms. That was quite the beat. Cliff dwellings. I can't say cliff, I say quiff. Ooh, there's hot springs too. I do got my bathing suit here. Go have a seat. Okay, so this is very, very fucking pretty. Might actually take most of my day. I also do feel a little bad for smoking in a Bronco. Yeah, I'm still a half an hour away for 18 miles. So that means I'm averaging 20 miles an hour. Less than 20 miles an hour. Right? 40 miles an hour. Okay, something is 33 miles away and it takes... Okay, 20 miles away. That's 40 miles away in an hour. So that would be going 40 miles an hour. What the fuck? Yeah. Right? I don't know. I'm on break. I don't need to do math right now. God, these crows are huge. It's always nice to be on an adventure. Although I did ruminate on Alex forever last night. It just sucks. It's like she's just like, I can sort of get out of it now. Like I'm getting the skills to just like let it go a little bit, but not like a lot. So it's so easy and comfortable to like start ruminating and start getting really upset. let the motorcycle through. God, this is like prime motorcycle-ing. This is fucking beautiful. Okay, I just passed mile marker 27. So I got to go back to mile marker 20, and that's where my turnoff is. So as soon as I see 21, then I'm on the lookout. But I'm wondering if I could just go see the camping sites around the lake, make sure there's something good, and then maybe like pay for it and try to like say like, hey, I'm gonna be here. And then I think it would be really nice to actually be around people. So that would be good. You know, it's funny, like, I think it's the design of the human spirit to explore, to go places that they're unfamiliar with. And then the freedom allows you to, like, reattach with what you're familiar with in a new way. So when I go on these trips, I come back and it's easier to reconnect with the people and places that are familiar. It's almost an exercise, like, so you get this new place and your brain is connecting dots and getting geography and experiencing beautiful things, and then it opens you up almost, or it takes you out of the rut of not noticing the beautiful things around you where you're at, right? So like this thing, like in Albuquerque we have these mountains and they're beautiful, and sometimes I think, wow, those mountains are beautiful, but most of the time I think those mountains are east, and they're a compass, not something beautiful. But yeah, so now we can say like, okay, here's this beautiful thing. And it's funny, like, well, it's not funny, but it's a segue to a new thought that I tend to use. It's so beautiful. Is that there's all this, like, pro-environmentalism. Or just environmentalism. You don't need the pro. It's already pro by definition. And then you have environmentalists mostly living in cities, and then maybe escaping on the weekends, and then they get it in their bones. They say, oh, we have to protect this. But the cities are already hot and concrete, dead, and then you try to reintroduce nature into the cities, but you can't really. You can only like introduce reminders of what nature is into a city. You can't introduce nature back into a city. I mean, unless there's some like post-apocalyptic thing, and then you get this like, I don't know. What was that show that I was watching? It was such a good show. It's like a zombie show, I guess. That was so good. Yeah, but it's crazy how like even like dilapidated structures are immediately just green. And this is like a healthy forest. Yeah, I'm glad I kept going south. I'm glad I did not spend more time than is necessary in terms of consequences. That's kind of a shithole. Super shithole. But it's weird. Okay, so I asked the lady, like, how do people end up in small towns? Or like farming towns or mountain towns? What have you? And I think there's part of it that harkens back to like the rugged individuals. That people want freedom and experience over a new iPhone. But at the the same time, now we're at a place where if you have enough money, you can get both. So it's not, I don't know if it's a choice anymore. Like you are giving up convenience by living out here for sure. But the level of convenience you're giving up is, I don't think, super significant anymore. Because Amazon still comes here, But at the same time, I think there are aspects of life that alienate people, and especially people who are already hurt. Right? Like if you're hurt, there's a thing that happens where you almost manifest hurt. Or at least in my experience, it's like, okay, I don't understand why I'm feeling so sad all the time. When ostensibly things are going okay. I'm getting a PhD. I'm not wanting for money or family. I am a bit wanting for friends. I'm alone doing this. But that was one of those great lines. I actually read this line in that Dune book yesterday. It was like, there's a difference between like humans and people, and they do the test with the box, and it's like, okay, you're a human because you can decide to endure. You can make the decision to endure pain for a greater goal. And that's like, okay, but then the line in the book was like, humans are almost always lonely. Meaning that if you have the ability to make the decision to endure discomfort for future gain, the people that do that more regularly or more intensely are lonely. I mean, it's like, I guess it's like a very Buddhist thing. Like, okay, life is suffering, but it's such a different kind of suffering now, because it's this insidious sort of tacit draw away from community and away from people and into technology and into phones and into Instagram and into Facebook. And there's a profound loneliness that happens there in that place. And it's overwhelming. It's too much. You can't take on that much human experience, especially on the level of human experience that you're watching, where everything is like perfect and manicured and muscled, and people got their wives and dogs, and they're rich, and they're living this sort of enchanted life. It's just, by indulging in that, you're breaking away from the suffering that you need to be human. It's dehumanizing by the over-observation of humanness. It's too much. You take on too much. And I think there's also the aspect of, okay, you can live sort of like vicariously through this thing, and it's super low effort. So I mean, what to do? I think everybody that is on social media wants to get on. It's like smoking. It's just, everybody who's on it knows it's bad for them, but they can't break away. immediately social media is like this, sort of like a signaling game. It's like, here's what I am when I'm at my best in my life, and it's kind of inviting people into your life in a way. It's like a resume of life experience. You know, on your resume, you don't say I suck at Python coding. You say I'm really good at R. It's the same. It's the same shit. It's like, look at how many times I get to toast a beer, have friends. This is my signal. This is my life resume. This is the type of life I'm leading. And then you get to know those people, and half the time they're miserable fucks. Or musicians that are always posting gigs, and then you get to hear them play live, and they fucking suck. And it's like, okay, well, this is like a deeply manicured manicured persona. That's not real. But again, like, it's real to the point that it functions as basically a social resume. It allows for a lot of social signaling. And then on the other side of that, you have sort of the consumers. The producers are consumers too. Everybody on Instagram, almost, that's a consumer, is a producer. So they're signaling, but they're also like living vicariously through the lives of others. There's that app it's a really good idea. It's just like, take a picture like once a day doing whatever you do. And it's true, like, okay, Anna did hers, and she's brilliant economist, and she's always coding, you know. But that's not her presence on Instagram. Her presence on Instagram is football games and being hot. But she's a genius. But it's interesting that, like, if I were as genius as Anna, as a man, I would be like, look at how smart I am. But as a woman, she does the smart thing, but then her cover photo is her signaling her social life, which probably makes up, honestly, like a relatively small portion of her life compared to work, compared to the degree. So, anyway, Anna's an interesting person. Brilliant. Naturally gifted. I would say she is as gifted at economics as I am with music. And it feels good. Like, being truly gifted at something feels good. Because the work is fun. The results come fast. It's not always a slow grind. But then, like, talented people sort of can sometimes take it for granted. That guy Sullivan, piano player Sullivan Fortner, I saw him a couple weeks ago, and in the words of Brad Meldau, he's another piano player. He's quietly revolutionizing jazz. And I don't think I've ever seen talent like that before. Like, what he has, I can only describe as a gift from God. Like, that, how easily do those pathways in his brain form new musical sentences, form new connections, and at the same time, concurrently, multiple inside lines, and beautiful, just freedom, complete freedom on a piano, and virtuosity too. Not not virtuosic in the sense that, like an Oscar Peterson virtuosic, but like a Sullivan Fortner virtuosic. Like someone who is classically trained to the extent that they needed to be classically trained to say what they needed to say with jazz. And what they needed to say was intense and intensive. So they needed a lot to say it. But then, like, you see people like Sullivan Fortner, and then the lay musician goes, well, I need chops. No, you don't. You only need as much chops as you have things to say. You know? So it's like this stupid trap that people get stuck in. It's like, how fast can I possibly play? And it's like, well, who gives a fuck when you have nothing to say? And that's like the big argument sort of against jazz, is that you have all these people with vocabulary that isn't their own, that they haven't coalesced into their own sort of dialect. They sound like Parker, they sound like Coltrane, or they sound like Jocko. And nobody are those people. And the reason those people are so amazing is because they're originals. And Sullivan Fortner is an original. But that shit is so heady. Like, I don't think there isn't an immediate trajectory for Sullivan Fortner to be listened to by somebody who isn't well versed in the language of jazz to even understand why it's special. I mean, like, and that's what makes music sort of different and honestly less approachable to people that don't play jazz. It's like if you go watch Usain Bolt run, it's like the goal is running really fast, faster than anybody else in history, and he did it, and it's amazing to watch. And the thing that's great about running is how accessible it is, because you don't need to know the dirty details of running to understand that somebody is great. And I think that's true in most sports. Like the win-loss record says it all. You take a look at Magnus Carlsen. Magnus Carlsen, 5-time world champion, just won the I can't remember what it was called. It was an invitation. Basically, 100 of the top grandmasters all take part in this knockout tournament. And Magnus Carlsen's greatness is that he usually wins. But you don't have to understand the intricacies of chess to understand that Magnus Carlsen is great. And people make livings telling you why Magnus Carlsen is the greatest chess player of all time. And they do it very topically. And they say, isn't this amazing that Magnus Carlsen found this? And then they check it with a computer engine. It turns out that this guy, by intuition and talent, he's uncovered this thing that a human is very rarely likely to do. So it's got an end point. And then I think, like, sorry, I know this is a very long rant, but with music you can understand greatness without understanding the intricacies and without understanding the language. But I think it's harder. And I think it takes a specific kind of ear to disentangle what's good and what's not good. So that's kind of what drives me crazy when people are like, "Oh, I love jazz." It's like, great, me too. Why? And they're like, "Well, it's swinging, ba-doo bop, ba-doo bop, boop bop, ba-doo ba-doo bop." And it gives them a feeling, and they feel maybe a sense of old-timiness, and then it can transport them into that feeling of history that you get from jazz, because jazz is so tied to American history. But I think that's why they like it. I don't think they actually super enjoy the music. It just makes them feel a certain way. But then you get to the point where you're talking about pianistic brilliance, like Sullivan Fortner. Well, I'm only talking about Sullivan Fortner. And there are others too, like Brad Meldau and Taylor Eichstein, Also, fucking good players, right? Aaron Parks, who I love. I love him more compositionally, but these people are geniuses, right? They're all geniuses, but they're not Sullivan Fortner. Anyway, boy, was his band killing too. That's also the mark of a great musician, is the ability to, let's see, look at the dog, to raise the musicianship around you. But it also takes a fantastic musician to meet geniuses at the bar that they set, and it's a big trust thing. I think it's like paintings too. Like you can see a painting and be so affected that you know that they're a genius. Like at the Stuart Gardner Museum, when I saw Rembrandt, I was like, I didn't get it, but I saw the play and how he played with the light, and I could feel that he was a genius. Even though I didn't know the vocabulary of painting. So maybe, I don't know, from that perspective, maybe people who listen to Sullivan Fortner know he's a genius, without all the familiarity with jazz and idiom. Corey Henry, also a genius. You get these people that just live in it. They are it. They can't not do it. Anyway, alright. Rant done. We've got, oh gosh, 41 minutes this one. Okay. Alright, there's some hot springs. Might check those out. I think we're getting close. 8 minutes away. Old ass wheelbarrow. Falling rocks. Yeah, so the scenery is a little more like New Mexican here. It feels like now we're at a much, much lower elevation. We've got a lot more trees, a lot less. I wish I knew the word for it. Pine trees, I guess. Okay, I think I'm going to end this. Cliff Dwellings are 4 miles. That's what mine says too. And bring you back at the Cliff Dwellings. Maybe take some pictures. I don't want to be a fucking vlogger. Fuck vloggers. Okay. Oh, can you see him?
black the top is. From fires, maybe. Huh. Incredible. Layered. Oh my God, do we get to go in? I think we get to go in. Okay, so I learned that those little holes are ventilation. Or this would have been. Oh my God. Fuck, I just tripped over that shit. These were brave little kids, man. Look at the view they had. It's incredible. Can't believe we're allowed in here. Narrow little walkway. Seems like each one of these rooms is very functional. So this might have been a living quarters, maybe. So the little holes are for beams. So there would have been a beam going across the top. And the big holes are likely for ventilation. Oh, look, it goes back. Let's see if we can. I think we can climb this. Room without a door. Looks patched. That's the door. Another little room. I wonder if this would have been like storage or something. So I think all these rooms would have probably been covered by something. Okay, this says return. God, look at that drop off. That's crazy. There's the entrance here. I bet they put these up. They just stack these. This is a different one. So this isn't connected to the one we were just in. It's way higher up there. Would have had probably a ladder, a series of ladders coming down. Wow. That's very cool.
All right, so we just saw the Gila cave dwellings, and it was completely insane. I'll put those in the video before this. So I guess you just saw that. Older Ben from the future. All right, so now new objective. We're gonna see if we can get a camping spot up by that lake. I would love to get a spot up by that lake, man. That would be super cool. Looks like there's also a lake up here on the left. So let's see if we can see that. Let's see if we can see. It's funny, so somehow Google Maps knows where I am, even though my phone doesn't have any connection. Let's see. Oh, it looks like the trees might be in the way. Yeah, a little creek. Okay. Giant yellow truck. Okay. Yeah, I don't see it. You can't get down there. I'm getting a little dehydrated. It's a very hot walk. And I realized halfway up I didn't have a shirt on under my sweater. So that was dumb. It was a nice lady who told me all about everything. And yeah, people really be living in caves, man. It looked like a pretty developed little society. Like there was like separation of gender roles in the housing units. So the women had their like makers areas, and presumably the men would go out and hunt. And then I guess it was super protected from like other people and also animals, because everything was kind of dropped down. Like I guess they lived above it, and then you could go down and you could get water. I guess those colonies were developed when there was a shortage of water, so there was no water, but that stream still existed with clean drinking water. So people went there, and I mean it's just crazy. I think like sometimes when I'm on these trips, I think like, God, look at the landscape. Like people had to conquer this landscape to even get here in the first place. And it was probably like a slow march, right, of expansion in the Americas. And then when the British got here, we had all these Native Americans who had sort of found the good spots already. So I feel like if I were a white man exploring the Americas, found this like semi-developed, livable land, it's probably going to be occupied, right? So that's maybe part of the very, very unfortunate reality of colonization of the Americas. Alright, Forks Campground. I'm really excited. Oh God, I hope if it's fucking cash, I'm gonna be so pissed off because I really, really want to camp by the lake, and I want to get some fish and shit. There's also beer. Okay, 35. I'm glad I did that sort of on the earlier side. Like, this is totally cool because now I got like 6-7 hours before dark, and I can go pack up my shit if I find a good spot and go do that. But I guess I'm vlogging when I can't listen to music because I don't have any phone service. I did get some word on the core exam retakes. I think a couple of my friends might have not passed the second time. We only get 2, so that's super unfortunate news for them. I think one guy has a better chance of passing than the other. One guy's already a professor of economics, and then just came to America. You know, the math is so fucking hard. I mean, it's not that hard, but it's like, it's hard. Like, you have to be able to, like, know how to make the math work for you. And what that means is just like, they set you these problems, and then you have to like sort of fold the math and manipulate the math to sort of solve an objective question, usually rooted in economic theory. But, you know, putting stories, especially sort of complicated economic stories, into variables is not always the easiest thing to do. And you've kind of got all the scaffolding, but I think you can't just like memorize everything, right? You have to be able to manipulate equations. I think that's something that is not necessarily for everybody. And the disappointing thing is, like, the econometrics and the math, like, being good at that doesn't necessarily make you a good researcher. Asking good questions makes you a good researcher. And then, you know, if you're weak in one area, there's going to be somebody strong in that area that you can co-write with. There's the trope of, like, the idea man, you know. So I think these core exams sort of like get rid of potential idea men or women or idea theys. Ugh. But okay, yeah. So I got a pack of cigarettes. That sucks. We'll see. I'll try not to take them to the lake. I mean, cigarettes are such a weird thing because they're great in principle. Like, I had a friend, Danny, growing up. Danny was kind of a bit of a rough and tumble kid. Grew up poor, parents were kind of fucked up, brothers were kind of fucked up. Like, one of his brothers, like, shook his baby and shit, and then went to jail. Like, it's just a fucked up family. But he was talking about cigarettes, and every once in a while he had these sort of insights that were like from a different place, but still wildly insightful. And I think he broke down cigarettes really well, and he said cigarettes are great, it just sucks to want them so bad. And that's exactly what it is. It's like the act of smoking a cigarette can be an enjoyable experience, but it's enjoyable because you want it so bad. But so that makes the same thing that's enjoyable about cigarettes the worst part of cigarettes, if you don't have them. So you tend to just always have them, and then boom, you're addicted. Because it's easy to buy cigarettes, so why not? Yeah, but yeah, they're great. Like, you're drinking, getting a little drunk. A cigarette feels like the end of the goddamn world, man. It feels so good. But then you chain smoke 10 of them, and that 10th one don't feel so good, especially in the morning when you're hacking up a lung and wheezing. And then it sucks even worse when you try to do anything active with your body. Alright, so I'm headed back. I need to look out for mile marker 21, and then actually even before that, go check out the campgrounds, then go see if I can find mile marker 21. Not mile 21. Of what? Million miles. US of road. But on this specific road, mile marker 21. Alright. So I'm going to turn you off. And then I think I'm just going to conglomerate all these videos into one long, unabridged thing. Just mostly for lack of interest in editing. And also for lack of interest in what I actually am saying. But if future Ben wants to get drunk and listen to this one day, maybe he has a family and he quit smoking and he's got his PhD. He's thinking about, man, I wonder what old Ben was up to. And, this is it. He's a little out of sorts. He's trying to quit cigarettes. He's trying to quit. He's trying to get better. It's hard to get better. It's hard to have a fucked up brain and try to get better because you're playing the game at a deficit already. And then you have I think people with fucked up brains like mine are often underachievers or overachievers. And underachieving and overachieving has the same goal. It's the pursuit of management of a disability that is depression and sadness and OCD, just general obsessive anxiety. So how do you quell that? Well, oftentimes it's through overwork or underwork. It goes back to the Instagram thing. It's like, okay, you can like live vicariously and be lazy, and then and then you always have an excuse too. So you kind of have that built-in excuse to be miserable. And then if you're overachieving, that's another excuse to be miserable. Oh man, work takes so much of my time. I'm so miserable. I don't have time for friends or family or social development. It's all the same shit. And then you get these like weird people that are like healthy. And I mean, everybody goes through their own shit. I don't think anybody goes through life without something. But I think, like, let's call a spade a spade. Like, when all three of your kids are fucked up, when one is a eating disordered heroin user, and the other, like God bless Dan, man, he's trying so hard and like really putting the work in early. So Grace and I didn't do that. And because of that, we're sort of like late bloomers. Okay, right? Like we're coming to life late. But here we are. We're doing it. And in 8 months I'll be done with classes and I'll be doing my research and writing papers and presenting papers, and it is what it is, It's life goes on. I gotta pass the econometrics core. Speaking of cores, your boy failed that one. Your boy also didn't study for that one. So, wow, God, these drop-offs, man. They are the end of your fucking life if you go off there. think you can see the overachieving in my parents. Right? Overachieving, underachieving. There's always probably aspects of life you're overachieving in and aspects of life you're underachieving in if you come at life with these sort of mental deficits. Success is like a drug. Being smart is like a drug. I might have just taken a wrong turn. Oh, fuck. Well, we'll know in 5 miles. All right. Got enough rambling, right? I wonder if the cave people had these sorts of issues. Oh no, I remember this. Okay, we're on the ranger. God, that view. Should almost pull over. Some things are just for the cabeza. Alright, we'll see if I can remember that when I watch this in 5 to 10 years. Wilderness Overlook. Yeah, beautiful. On their bike. Whoa, you can hear all those coffees. Those Starbucks fucking coffees are so gross. They're just pure sugar. Man, I've had this tickle in my throat for days. I just feel like I'm gonna get sick, but I don't. It must be allergies. Either that or I'm dying. Anyway, alright, enough rambling. Turn this off. It's nice because you're kind of like my friend. I'm my own friend. I'm talking to myself. And then at times even listening to myself. Oh, the narcissism. Oh my God. How in love with myself am I? I just noticed my pooch. That pooch is coming in nice, eh? That's the 30-year pooch. There, skinny fat. Ribs are showing, belly's going. That's that Roger the Alien from American Dad look. That's that E.T. Alright, okay. Oh my God, it was so fucking hard to find out where I was. But, okay, let's set this up. We're gonna do a time lapse of taking the tent down. Thank God this tent is blue. I was like, where the fuck? Because it was a really bad road. I was like, what did the road I take? Was it this bad? But okay, time for time. All right, so this is crazy. When I got back, my chair was tipped over, and I was like, that's weird. And then my tent had these like rip marks. I was like, what is that? Like little things like that. So this was undone back here. Something was trying to get in my tent, and look at this. Ripped a damn hole in the tent. So, I mean, like, kind of scary, man. So I definitely need to be a little bit on the lookout. I mean, presumably it got inside the tent, right? I mean, what could that have been? Wow. Look, there's more. Came in over there. I tried to. There. Ooh.
That is super spooky stuff. Really spooky. So, yeah, definitely not staying here. I don't know what that could have been. Sure, I look ugly as fuck, but wow. There's that, I guess. Dinner time. There's a deer right over there. Let's see if I can spot it. Sometimes you can see the eyes. Is it there? Come on, deer. No luck. But the deer are definitely out. See if I can turn this headlamp off. See the stars. There they are. God, you can see more than I can. Let's see if I hold it there. This dude's a bad dad. All pissed off at his kids. Sleeping under the stars. All those suns. Okay. It's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life for me. So last night was cold and hard, but infinitely better than being scared shitless. And today, I think there's an Oktoberfest thing happening at the lake recreation area, which I don't know what that is. We'll see it, we'll find it. There's also a total eclipse of the sun, so hopefully the clouds burn off and I can get a time lapse of that. I also saw a puma, or a mountain lion. I don't know exactly what it was because it, ooh, that would be a good spot. Right there, up there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, anyway, I'm excited for the total eclipse. Today is going to be mostly about fishing. So, never caught a fish. Don't know what I'll do if I do catch a fish. I probably won't catch a fish.
but I'm sort of thinking maybe it's better to fish in the lakes instead of the rivers instead of the lake, because the lake is covered in this film of moss and whatever water plant that is. Anyway, just got some Wi-Fi. Talked to the moms and hims and the sister. Sent some pictures. Very excited for the eclipse, though. That was wild, seeing a big cat in the wild. And then I saw a house cat chasing birds. I was like, they're the same. But I was also kind of freaked out. I was like, oh man, I left 2 empty ramen noodle containers in my tent. I hope it doesn't get fucked up more. But anyway, yeah, there are deer all over the place. It's super scenic. Maybe I'll intersperse some driving. Hello, squirrel. Driving video or time lapse. Okay, this is Mesa Campground. Yeah, but anyway, I'm gonna go back to my tent. I kind of got nothing to do until the eclipse. Maybe I'll try to talk to some people, see where the festivities are down by the lake, or maybe even try to recreation area. Fuck, I should have taken a picture of that sign. I actually might go up to the general store. That'll be the plan, actually. So at like 10 o'clock, I'll go up to the lookout, get ready for the solar eclipse, and then I'll pop on over. I'll pack up the car with goodies. It's not my camp. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, a bit of logistics, planning out the day. But yeah, it's going to be solar eclipse, and then I'm going to go talk to the owner of the store and figure out what's going on, see where I can fish. That's good for fishing. I wish I kind of had splurged a little bit on the camping chair. I got like a $10 chair, and my ass says it's a $10 chair every time I sit down on it. There's these like 2 straps that I'm so bony, there's no natural padding there. So it's just kind of a pain in the ass. Anyway, all right. We're getting back to the campground. I'm sufficiently warmed up in the car. Again, it was a very, very cold night. But I'm glad it didn't rain. Maybe I'll play some Geeter. We'll see. I think this eclipse is going to be absolutely nuts. Anyway, I also got to take a poop. It's never a good thing. It's never dope. Never ever dope taking a poop. Camping. Anyway, yeah, I'm drinking this coffee from yesterday. Fuck me up. Alrighty. Let's see here. There. Back it up this way. Back it up, back it up. More. A little more. There we go. Alright, and we'll check back in with you for the lunar eclipse, solar eclipse. Ooh. All right, well, trying to fish. I'm not succeeding. I don't know how to fish. This guy, he was here right before me. He caught like 4 fish in an hour. It's been 2.5 hours, and I haven't caught a fish. God, look at the bald. That's what it is. But it's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I've been solving my puzzle and... Okay. I don't know if I get fishing. I haven't caught a fish. Just talked to a nice couple of people with some English pointers. 2 of them. Very, very cool, well-bred dogs. It's funny, when I drink, I get this thing that happens. Oh, interesting. People are getting sick of fishing. But everybody's catching fish but me. So let's see. Go back. Now the wind is picking up. I don't know how that's going to affect it. But I keep thinking like line will jostle, right, if I get fish. Yeah, I don't have much to say. Fishing. The weather is beautiful. I'm a little drunk. Did you guys catch fish?
Yeah, she did.
God damn. I mean, dang.
2 big cats and a trout.
You're gonna eat them, or did you release them?
We released them.
Ah.
Anything else stuff to clean them out or take them back? I
Yeah.
should have came and offered them to you.
Offered them to me.
If you want them. Did you guys catch any?
I wouldn't know. It's just me. I don't know how to fish, so
What are you using as bait?
power bait, that bait.
Oh, okay. See how we she used some worm. Right here,
Worm?
right there, right at the next cove.
Yeah.
She'll throw it in. 2 seconds later, she was popping it out.
You serious?
Yeah.
Well, I saw a guy was here for an hour and caught 4 fish.
Oh yeah, I thought we saw him. They had a dog.
Yeah, a little pug.
Yeah, a pug.
Yeah, yeah. Angry
Yeah.
little pug.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, that's why we kept on chugging along. We're just right here over the next bridge, right here, right away. They're catching
Yeah, man.
2 big cats and a big trout.
Nice.
All her. I don't have my
Wow.
Mexico license, so
Well done.
good luck.
Yeah, thanks. Look, I caught a fish. Flavor blasted. Anyway. Yeah, I kind of don't get it. But I haven't got it. I haven't gotten any fish. You're good though. I'm hungry. Real hungry. Go back to camp. Cook up something. Collect wood on the way. Gotta make wood. Alright. One more beer. It's funny. I don't know if I can turn this around. That's the view. Pretty nice view. There's my fishing pole. I'm thinking if a fish catches, it'll shake it. But anyway, so I met a couple couples. One was 4 years, old couples. One was 4 years and one was 40. Oh, damn, the one that was for, both of them had 40. Also. Like people, God, I wish I didn't have those fucking lines, man. People who find people, you know. Unless you're me, and then you don't find people. Maybe it's because I look insane. I don't know if I take these off. No. No, I look like a more normal person. Wrinkly. Getting wrinkly. But all's well. If it ends well. Maybe it'll end well. I don't know. I'm fucking lonely, man. So goddamn lonely. Wake up in that tent. Thinking about the girl that I used to camp with. Who was insane, but sweet. Jealous motherfucker. Fucking in that tent was good though. It's always good to fuck in a tent. Maybe I don't get laid because I have these glasses. Let's see what time is it. It's almost 3. I think the Oktoberfest celebration might go till 4. So I think I'm actually gonna pack it up here after this beer. Head on up there. Maybe I'll put on my fancy glasses so I don't look like shit. No. Maybe I'll catch a lady. I think the girl at the shop kept touching me on the shoulder.
And she invited me to come. So maybe I'll do that. I wish I could switch this around. See, on the Android, you used to be able to just switch it. Alright, maybe I'll take another video. Yeah, this is better. So this is, and look at those Homer Simpson clouds. At the very least, it's extremely pretty. Fish are now fish. One fish, two fish. No fish. I love how the waves, the wind disturbs the top of the water, and you get these waves. And the waves are chaotic. Like if you zoom in on a wave, it iterates and iterates and iterates. Chaotic iterations. Waves, tiny waves. These big waves, smaller waves, smaller waves, smaller waves. It's very chaotic. But it's not, at the same time, it's not chaotic, right? It all goes one direction. Generally. It's mostly on the surface. It's similar to the three-body problem. You have two bodies. It's easy to predict what they're going to do. If you have one force, it's easy to predict what it's going to do. But then you have wind. Wind is many, many, many forces, all on the water. And it's chaotic, so it's way, way, way worse than the three-body problem. It's a bajillion model. Or a body problem. And that, yeah, you can even see, like, yeah, it's like a chaotic fractal. It's super, super beautiful. Anyway, I think I'm going to finish up this beer and then go to Oktoberfest. And then maybe try to eat something there. It's just fucking beautiful. Look at that bubble. Alright, so let's see. Let's look at this bubble. Oh, missed it. Lost it. Let's find another bubble. It's being perturbed randomly. It's a chaotic system. Waves. How funny would it be if there's a fish in it? It's funny, you can like, nothing is funny, I don't know why I keep saying that, but you can see the chaoticness of the system. Ah, there it is. Look at all those ripples. So the sun is like feeds you all this information about the chaotic system that is the waves. Water seems very pleased with itself. I don't think they're biting. Do you? No. This grass. It's another chaotic system. Just that leaf. It's a chaotic system. kind of not as chaotic as you would, like when you go very, very small, it's chaotic. But if you go bigger, like, okay, let's see if I can, okay. So this system looks less chaotic than this system. Like you see all the tiny waves and interactions there. Then you see this, and then you just see water kind of flowing, right? It's just flowing. But here, it's chaotic. You almost actually can't even see the direction of flow here. You can see waves going upper left to lower right. Yeah, it's interesting. They are not a chaotic system. Maybe they are. People are a chaotic system. You get enough of them trying to do everything all at once. God, look at those clouds. I wish a chaotic fish would eat the bait. Yeah. Anyway, very interesting. On songwriting, it's really hard, but it's not hard because the chords are hard, and it's not hard because the words are hard. Anybody can write. God damn. A shitty song. And we all write many, many shitty songs. But the good ones tell a story that's you've heard before. But they tell it in a way or with a nuance that you haven't heard before. Like every song is a love song or a happy song or a sad song or a hate song. Those are the 4 songs. And then you can have other, like you can have a scared song or an excited song. But those are part of those 4. And the people that are good songwriters take from people. They're thieves of ideas and places and events. Like Kendrick Lamar is a thief of his environment. And then it's kind of cliche, but like, okay, the best rap songs are talking about like life in the hood, and those are relatable, and they're done in a way that either if you've lived the experience adds a nuance to the experience, or if you haven't lived the experience lets you live the experience too. So there's this thin line of being totally accessible to the people that understand what you're doing and the people that don't understand not what you're doing, your life experience. And that's why Bob Dylan is so great. But it killed him. And that's why Elvis is so great.
And you can extend it to musicians, that's why. I don't know if you can extend it to musicians, actually. Maybe you can. I don't know. You probably can. Because the musicians are just songwriters, and the improvisers are just emoters. They emote. Anyway, I'm saying all this because I'm trying to write a song. It's inspired by the Bar Brothers. Even the darkness has arms. Oh, what a lyric. And it's true. Safety. It's a comfortable place. Being in the dark. The crux of their song is I got the darkness, but the darkness don't have you. But I have the darkness, and I got you too. So there's this sort of like savior trope going on. Savior victor trope. You get the trophy, but you have to protect it from the darkness, and the darkness presumably is another human. A woman, probably. And I think that's true. Like, the dynamic is such that the guy, the protagonist, let's just say our protagonist is a guy. Our male protagonist has to overcome their own hurt and protect their loved ones from hurt. That's a tall order. And it sort of implies this like victim mentality to women. And I think by and large, women subscribe to that mentality of being victims. And sometimes, most of the time, half the time, if you get the patriarchy, they are. So it's almost like this. You've got men creating victims and then saving them from themselves. Or at least that's the trope. And I think that's kind of all over my songwriting too. It's like this double comeuppance. You conquer your own demons and then you save somebody else from theirs. It's very, very romantic. But in life, I don't think it's true. But we've all been sort of led to believe these things are true. Let me trim this stash. My chin ends here. It's not that big. God, I look hideous. Look at these lines on my head. It's disgusting. Oh, skin's so dry. Let me get a retinol cream.
probably gonna. I'm drunk, if you didn't know. Oh yeah, so let's go through the day's events. I went fishing. I didn't catch jack shit. And then I went to a barbecue thing this woman invited me to. I played soccer with her kids, and there were these girls, and I guess their dad was in prison. They were like hanging all over me, like just desperate for a male role model. It was really sad. Beautiful kids. Anyway, we played soccer, and they'll do whatever they do. Maybe they'll be addicted, maybe they won't. But it gets all of us. Addiction. It's just yeah. Get that one big line on my forehead. Sad, sad, sad. Wrinkly old man. Anyway, I'm gonna go take a shit. It's gonna suck. And then I'm gonna go collect firewood because I made a fire with wet wood yesterday and that sucked. So, I'm hungry even though I ate at the barbecue. Well, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. So if I do this, the 11s go away, kinda. And if I do this, these will not be defeated. Holy shit. Oh, my mouth is such a fucking wrinkly forehead. Look, I'm young again. Fuck me. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. Alright, bye. I had a hard time starting the fire last night, and I think I might have went a little overboard tonight. Whoops.
we're back. Okay, so where did we leave off? Yesterday, I think the last thing I did was a drunken rant. Fair enough. So let's see, what happened yesterday? I went to a Oktoberfest. And it was really fun. Gosh, there were these like little kids playing soccer, and I went and played soccer with them, and then it was, maybe like an 8, 9, 10-year-old boy, and then 4, 6, and 8-year-old little girls, and fuck, those little girls were the cutest fucking things. And so I played soccer, and then it ended up this one little girl, the littlest girl, must have been like maybe 5. And she was so light, she would hang onto my arm, and I could pull her up and twist her around and flip her upside down. And it was so fun, and I just, man, the love of a child, unbridled, unencumbered, just so honest. But it really got me thinking, man, like, oh, I want to have a family so bad. Like, I know I always kind of say this on and off, but like, I really want a family bad. And God, to just have the love of a little kid and feel love for them, I think, like, we're so hardwired to have kids, and your brain makes it so that you just love them unconditionally. And it's just such a sweet thing. And I don't know, I like felt like that was like, I think for the first time ever, like this little girl just like would not leave me alone, and then was just like crawling all over me, and had ketchup all over her face, and was eating this hot dog with too much ketchup on it, and was holding it in her sticky little hands, hopping up and sitting on my lap, and just wanted to be a part of everything all at once, all the time. And it was just like, I don't know if I was ever like that. I think as a little kid, I was never completely free, and I think even now I don't let myself be free. This fixation, hyper-awareness of self and others. Oh my God. She was totally free, this little girl. And you could almost see it in the ages, right? Like, as you went up the rungs, the little girls the oldest one was the little boy. They were just like increasingly sort of like aware of their own bodies and personal space, right? And then the kid, the little boy yesterday, he was trying to play bass. They have like a little luthier set up at that shop, which is weird, but it is what it is. Anyway, yeah, it was just, so I tuned his bass for him, and he likes to play with these Legos, and something about, I don't know, I just felt very welcomed into this really bizarre family. And then, so like halfway through, I started feeling kind of sick and kind of nauseous. I was trying to wear my fancy glasses, and gosh, they just really give me a headache and make me feel bad. That's why I'm wearing these still. But yeah, so then this biker gang from Texas came, and they were like, I don't know, 15, 20 strong biker gang, and they all had the matching jackets, and they all had nicknames, and there was like the president of the biker gang, or biker, I don't know what they like to be called, biker club, every single one of them went around in a big circle and shook everybody's hands. It was cool, man. Like, so they show up at a place and I don't know, it's probably some convention. Like, you want to establish, or they wanted to establish that they were like the gang and they were here and they were the big bad bosses of the party, you know. Or, and then I think it sort of has a double effect, so, you know, by doing that, they ingratiate themselves into this, like, automatic, weird, like, power dynamic. And then, like, so, one older lady came up to me, and she's like, "Gringo," and then I was like, yeah. She was like, "Oh, you have beautiful eyes," and I was like, "Thank you." Like, I didn't know what to say. This is like some old lady. Like, God forbid somebody my own age thinks I have beautiful eyes. People say that on and off. But anyway, she was like, "This is the other Gringo," and then I guess he was the leader. He was like president of the gang, and he was like, "My name's Skull Crusher," or something. They all had dopey nicknames, like intimidating nicknames. But the thing is that, like, they were kind of intimidating. Like, I kind of believed their nicknames. And then the scariest one was this, like, older guy who looked like a fat biker Buddha, but, like, tall, big beard, big, very clear eyes. And he had a cane with him, and I was just like, damn, I bet that's, like, actually, like, a knife or something. But then his nickname was Mother, and I was like, that's the fucking scariest nickname I've ever heard. So, yeah. I guess he was the sort of, maybe he used to be the president or something. But anyway, it was pretty wild. It was like, they almost like function like a pack of lions. There's like a definitive hierarchy, and they all do whatever they do. But anyway, super interesting. I went to sleep thinking about that little girl. It sounds weird, but just like, I'm not sure if I would be a good dad or not. Like, I'm really not sure, because I don't have a lot of energy, and I'm, you know, such a narcissist. You know? Like, I would be so scared of fucking my kid up. But then at the same time, and then, like, the logistics of day to day, like, they're hyper all the time, and they bug the shit out of you. And it's just like, you know, but you still love them, and then, you know, I don't know. But either way, it's like, in that short period of whatever it was, a couple hours, like, my heart, like, opened to this little girl, and I was like, you know, it was nuts. It was intense. Anyway, okay. So now, it was intense. That's the word for it. Intense. Yeah. And then I learned later that the reason that she was doing that is because her actual dad was in and out of jail, and then, like, kind of an addict. You know, it's just this sort of a sad, actually heartbreaking, because that's why she was doing it. Right? She just, anyone that even resembled, like, a young father, she needed that attention and that love, so she was kind of going wherever she could to get it. And I think that's, gosh, I mean, that can manifest in really dark ways, you know. constantly searching for that love you never got as a kid when you're an adult. And that can take a lot of pretty nasty turns. But I wish her the best. I hope, maybe I'll come back next year. See if they're all there. Anyway. I mean, it's fine because like people are popping out kids left and right. And then like don't want them or can't deal with them. And all I want is a family. Like that's all I want, but I'm so fucked up I can't even get to a point of starting one, or maybe I just can't. I'm just not irresponsible enough to start one. It's like, man, and then the smoking and the drinking. Like if I actually wanted to be a good dad, I wouldn't smoke and I wouldn't drink. I would just love my kids. I think I would love my kids more. Like I can't even imagine how much I would love my kids if I had them. I wonder if my dad, my fucking dad did not want kids. And I felt that. You can feel that when your parents don't want you. It is what it is. Alright, so also, I was talking to my mom this morning, Kitty, and she said it was probably a raccoon that got into my tent, not a bear. But I don't know. I mean, it took the stake out completely. It lifted the tent all the way up. So I don't know if a raccoon would have been strong enough to take that tent stake out. Because even I have a hard time taking those tent stakes out. Yeah, the upper right side on the back left. All right, so we're going to the VLA. That's pretty out of the way, actually, but I think it should be okay. Wow, look at that. What is up there? How did they get shit up there? Huh. You can see this. There's a little cave with something red in it, and it's been placed there. Looks like somebody climbed up there. There you have it. It's a big canyon. Ooh. I'm sure there's good climbing here. I'd love to start going outdoors climbing with Brother Dan and Sister Grace. We need to clean this windshield. Yeah, they're the big trees. Wow. Yeah, we are in a canyon, man. All right, we're gonna end off. Oh, good. You missed half of my rant. Anyway, okay. So the purpose of this rant is to just talk about music a little bit, in a way, and have a conversation that I feel like musicians in general need to have openly. this entire trip I've been listening to folk music, and it's been great, and the lyricism is fantastic, and the music is there to support the lyricism, which is what folk music is. It's stories, and it's human experience, and it's all this and all this. But an argument can be made that it like somehow lacks musicianship. But my argument is that folk music is simple because it has to be. Because the stories are so fucking good. And the one-liners are so fucking good. And the music doesn't need to be jazz. It's not jazz. It doesn't need to be harmonically complex. It doesn't need to be anything. It needs to be 2 chords or 1 chord. You know, throw in a secondary dominant. Oh boy. The right time? That hits like a brick in a folk song. So anyway, I was having this like super enjoyable musical experience listening to all these folk artists, feeling inspired by just the colors and the palette that they use for their words. And it can range in complexity, right? You get honestly, you get somebody like the tallest man on earth, and those chords are all tensioned and interesting, and the picking patterns are kind of flashy and whatever. But the lyrics are really, really fabulous. And the music doesn't detract or distract in any way from the story that the tallest man tells. Tallest man on earth. I don't know his real name. Okay, so I'm having this great time, feeling very inspired. All these great metaphors and ideas, and it's all rooted in tradition of love and hate and sadness and elation. Those things I talked about recently that are 4 different song types. I really do think it can be distilled down that far, and even going into classical music. But anyway, so I think to myself, you know, let's just look up, let's listen to Jacob Collier. Okay. So Jacob Collier is obviously one of the most gifted musicians alive. Like, on equal footing with the greatest musicians that have ever made music. He's up there with Mozart. He's up there with Bach. He's up there with Beethoven. He's up there with the best of them. And honestly, probably more talented than like basically everybody but Mozart and Bach. Which I would have loved to have known what like a modern day Bach would have been making. What kind of music would modern Bach make if you took all those gifts that he had and put them in the modern age? But anyway, so Jacob Collier, astoundingly talented, and will go down as a genius. And what he's contributed already in his very short, young career has completely revolutionized jazz harmony. I mean, and some stuff we won't get to for another 50 years. Like, that's how revolutionary Jacob Collier is. The way he just distilled modern harmonic ideas for us as listeners in 5-minute songs, those are going to be dissected and recreated and pieced apart. Textbooks are going to be written about it, all of that. So we have objectively interesting music happening. But you listen to it, and it's like white paint. There's nothing there. Once you get past the harmonic intrigue, there's nothing there. The lyrics sound like they're written by an angsty 15-year-old. It's a guy who obviously has no life experience, obviously has no trauma or hardship that he can bring out in the music to elicit a feeling in the person who's experiencing the music. like, what is music if not to, like, sort of corroborate an experience or an emotion, or a lifetime of experiences and emotions? But you get this, like, super, and I don't know if it's, like, sheltered, and then, but if everybody tells you your music is beyond the pale genius, which it is, and which people have, you're like, okay, I'll keep doing that. So the harmony gets weirder and weirder. And it's not weird, it's profoundly beautiful. But it does nothing. It does nothing. It's lame. And the lyrics are lame. Like, Jacob Collier has this great folk song, "Sun is in Your Eyes." And but the lyrics are so fucking bad. Like, he rhymes like 7 words in a row, and it's just like lame. It's fucking lame. But that simple song, given to the right lyricist, could have been a classic of our generation. But it doesn't make sense, because then it's somebody else's music and you're trying to add your life experience to it. And unless it's a true collaboration, I don't believe that sort of thing works. So I'm just, part of me is annoyed that the person that God or whatever it is that makes people and divides gifts gave Jacob Collier every gift you can possibly have as a musician. Like, maxed out all the stats. But then didn't give him the life experience that he needs to make interesting music for people. Or at least for me. I mean, and sometimes, like, he's just trying so hard. It's what it is. It is what it is. Oh my God. I might get pulled over. It's 50-50, I got pulled over. In fact, I'm going to go into the right lane and go exactly 80 miles an hour. So, okay, we're going exactly 80 miles an hour. Anyway, part of me is just frustrated because, like, the potential is unbelievable for Jacob Collier to make great music with all the gifts that he has. But it's almost like, what do you even do? Like, because like, part of artistry is dealing with the limitations, dealing with your limitations as a musician to express what you need to express. Well, what happens when you don't have limitations? You get nothing. You get gobbledygook. You get something that says everything at once without saying anything. It's disgusting. But it's the same thing. Just like anything in excess is bad, including apparently talent. So I think the function then of Jacob Collier societally, musically, is Jacob Collier is going to take the art form as far as it can go, and as far as it'll be taken for the next 100 years. And he's going to do it belligerently, without any sort of artistic or musical intention. I mean, he's going to feel like he has artistic and musical intention, But it's not going to be there until in 100 years somebody is able to take what he's done and realize it in a way that actually affects people. And that person is going to be Mozart. That person's going to be Bach. And that person's going to be Beethoven. But Jacob Collier ain't it. I mean, like, unless he goes to India and unless he goes to India and like is homeless for a long time and like gets told he's a bad person and goes through a bad breakup and does some toxic shit and gets addicted to meth, like then we get really good fucking music. But I just don't believe in artistry without suffering. I don't. And I don't think Jacob Collier has suffered. Because that's the whole point of music. Can you make me feel something? In order to make somebody feel something, you have to have felt it yourself. Jacob Collier has never felt pain. I believe this to be true. I believe Jacob Collier has never felt pain. And then maybe one day he will. Maybe Jacob Collier will be 40 years old and we'll finally get something interesting out of it. But he'll probably die before then. That's my guess. I don't think great talents like that escape death for that one. Anyway, I mean, who am I to talk? I'm not a good musician. I'm not a good songwriter. I'm not a harmonic genius by any stretch of the imagination. Probably the most interesting harmonic ideas I've ever had, Jacob Collier has had 12 times over. Was that a minor 4? Yeah, it is. Anyway, it's just disappointing. And he's also got to get rid of the sun is in your eyes. Oh, blah, 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 blah. He sings like a tubby tutu. But that's like in Jacob Collier in a nutshell is that's what it is. The dude has a range that's insane, but the sound of his voice is horrible. Like, I would rather listen to somebody who has an interesting sounding voice with a limited range than somebody who sounds like the sun is in your eyes. Oh, ba, 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 ba. Oh, ba, 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 ba. I mean, maybe he sings like that because of the harmonies. They mesh better. I really don't know. I'm all on one, about Jacob Collier. But I do think that's a good example because he's insanely gifted in his range and ability in singing. But I don't like listening to him sing. And it's the same thing when he's playing piano. It's the same thing when he's arranging these songs. It's just something that isn't nice to listen to about it. Like the cover he did of Moon River, like an amazing, huge project where he got all these famous people to sing notes and then made a giant chord at the beginning. Like, it's kind of a funny idea, but that song is one of the best songs ever written because of the melody and the words and the harmony. And if you fuck with it too much, and if you build it too fast, it just doesn't do it. Like, the best version of that song is by the singer-songwriter duo called the Honey Trees. And the girl is beautiful. She's got red hair, and presumably her boyfriend is playing guitar, and they're harmonizing. And that's the essence of Moon River. It isn't to be bastardized into 100 million chords and modulations and half modulations. It's Moon River. It's a 1 and a 6 and a 2 and a 5. A couple other things. It's a 1/4 song, actually. that's the problem, you know. Like those songs that are perfect, they don't need all that extra shit. Georgia, perfect song, doesn't need extra shit. It's got a nice 3-6-2-5 in it on those transitions on the Ray Charles recordings, and that's as far as you take that song. You don't add any other fucking shit to that song. That song is the way it should be, and the fanciest it gets is 3-6-2-5, and there's a little half step thing that goes on. Anyway, how was that for a rant? A 16-minute rant about Jacob Collier. I wonder if I'll put that in the video. Anyway, I need to pee. I'm kind of grumpy. I don't want to be back. I was enjoying the stars. I was enjoying being uncomfortable. Now it's back to just phones and comfort and nothingness. Are we living in the Jacob Collier age? Do we just have everything that we need so nothing matters? Is it so easy that nothing matters? Maybe. But I think that actually isn't defined to the human spirit. I think that the human spirit seeks out challenges. And that's what makes us great. That's what makes us interesting. Is that we're not comfortable being comfortable. At least for the most part. I think if you are comfortable being comfortable, that's fine too. There's an artistry in being okay with being okay. And there's an artistry in struggling for the sake of struggling. Buy junk cars. Macy's Towing LLC. It's fun. When I would talk to people, I would say I'm from Albuquerque, and they were like, you're living in the big city. And I'd be like, really? I don't know if Albuquerque is a big city. Like, compared to Boston, Albuquerque is small. Shallow and pedantic. Yes, shallow and pedantic. I don't know why I got so up in arms about Jacob Collier. He's just trying the best he can, I'm sure. And I'm sure he's also aware that there are issues. I would be interested to see if he could do an album and be like, okay, I'm only going to give myself 6 chords and then see what comes out. And what comes out when he's limited to 6 chords is going to be the same quality of music that comes out when he has all the harmonic birth he needs to create anything. It's going to be the exact same quality of music. But I don't think the opposite is true. I think if you gave somebody who's excellent at writing a 2-chord song the ability to write a song with 1 million chords, they would fall flat on their face. There would be no artistry there. But like, a great example of a 2-chord song is like Tennessee Whiskey. Like, that song hits, man. And it hits because of the vocals. Tennessee Whiskey, I die like strawberry wine, strawberry wine. Yeah, it's got that sort of like earthy hearth quality to it. But that's a great song. But you give that guy 1 million chords, he's not going to know what to do. And it's also like idiom specific, so like Jacob Collier's chords are so nuts that he had to create a new genre that is Jacob Collier. That is this sort of like whiny, arpeggiated, over-inflected music. I'm kind of a hater, huh? Jesus. I mean, if I were to criticize my music like this, I could go off too. Right? But I think Jacob Collier occupies a unique opportunity for musicians to ask other musicians what it actually is that we're trying to do here. Like, what are we actually trying to accomplish? And the answer is like, I believe the answer is to make things that make people feel good or bad, happy or sad. That's it. That's the whole fucking thing. And then you can make people feel maybe like sad and then happy in the same song. It doesn't have to be like one emotion per song. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna like honestly talk until I go. But I might pick up some beer. So I'll probably talk until I pick up some beer. But we're almost home. We got a full tank of gas basically. I do not want to go back to work and PH Dizzle for shizzle. I got my master's degree though. I could literally just say nope and just like work a 9 to 5 and then have enough money to start a family and not give a shit. Like I could go and make $80,000 to $100,000 a year right now. But I tough it out for another 2.5 years. And then I baseline make $150,000. Now, the question is, when you make $150,000, the company that's paying you $150,000 a year, that company owns you. Your freedom is not guaranteed if you're making that much money. But it kind of is if you're making 80, 90, right? You get your weekends on 80 and 90. You're on call for 150. So it'll be interesting to see how I can navigate that. There's a good possibility that I do economics for 3 years and say fuck this. Like legit. There's a good chance that happens. So why am I doing it? To make money for 3 years and be miserable. Like I honestly like it's like not even interesting. It's just like evaluating things that have already been evaluated, but this time we do it with a regression and we have to have some sort of analysis section. It's like stupid. Like, did it work? Did the policy work? Generally, you know. You don't have to ask it and ask about causality to know that a program that gives more education at a lower cost to more people is a good thing. And then there are all these things about like, okay, let's quantify it, but you can't quantify it. It's unquantifiable. So what the fuck is the actual fucking point? It just drives me fucking insane. Like these papers like, oh, this economist is so good. They really knew what they were doing. What question are they answering that's at all interesting? Like there was a paper that like you can see, okay, fuck me, I'm in a bad mood, man. I do not want to be going back to real fucking life. Fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. God damn it. Fuck. Alright, I'm getting beer. Is that how I'm gonna end this? Is that how I'm gonna end this trip? Maybe. Probably. Out of service, not out of service. Well, I guess that's it for me, folks. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited to see the dogs. Okay, I got beer, but I can't end this on a note that's that bad. I'm frustrated. I don't know.
feel like I'm putting a lot of effort into something that AI is going to do on its own in 5 years. It's just like, I'm sick of everything I do feeling like it's pointless. Unless the point is making money. Which is honestly a shitty end goal. But it's better than working at a gas station. Although that serves a lot of good too. People need gas and booze and snacks. Probably for the greater good of a group of people, not the best thing. As far as snacks and booze. I honestly don't know if I'm disappointed in myself for allowing myself to go so far with something that I'm really not interested in. I wonder if this is coming back to a life that I don't want to be leading in this way, from a place where I kind of had the freedom to just be myself and be the little artist, philosophizer that I am. Or if it's like this sort of stress-induced I just don't want to come back to this life. I am not happy doing this. And what am I going to do? Sign up for another 15, 20 years of this? 30 years of this? You retire when you're 65. 34 years of something I'm not interested in? That I don't think is impactful, that I think is almost entirely made up. Like, at least with math or physics or research or electronics or astronomy. It's tangible, it's a thing, it does things. You can create things that do things. Economics is just this, it's almost like a backseat driver. Like, you have like policies and politics and interventions and technologies, and then you have economics, and they're like, well, we can't say for certain, but it did something. We don't know if there's a direct causal link, and we haven't really figured out how to explain causality. But maybe. Well, that's not a lighter note, is it? Fuck! Anyway, I'm almost home. Future Ben, I hope you've figured something out. Because it's, this is not what I want to be doing right now. At all. Yet here we are. I'm gonna go see my mama and my dogs. Her dogs. And I'll bid you farewell. That was fun.